3 years, I think.
Uh-huh.
And then we had moved back in together, and things were okay for a while, and then it was like, okay, you know what? I just remembered why we separated in the first place. Let's not do this. So
What
we had
was the
separated the
biggest
second time.
conflict?
I think honestly, it was we fought. We fought a lot, but we fought over everything. Like you tell me the sky's blue, and I'm gonna tell you it's not. Like we just really fought over everything, and for the kids and all of that, it wasn't good. And then back a few years ago, like he drinks beer. He doesn't consider himself an alcoholic, but he is. He's a functioning alcoholic. He'll have a few beers a day, but he still drinks beer every day. He went through this thing that he'd been laid off for a while, and I mean, he had nothing to do. He was drinking a lot more. He had this one friend that did like every drug that you can imagine, started doing things with him, and it wasn't good because it just turned him into somebody else. And I told him I cannot deal with that person. I can't. He was like he wouldn't even remember the way that he was acting. Like he would just be so like crazy, and like just he thought, okay, well, he did whatever. He would go to sleep the next day and then kind of say, oh, was I a jerk? I'm sorry. And then not remember how he did, but I'm like, sorry does not wipe it away. Just because you can't remember it does not wipe it away. Like, and it was a lot of that. And then more recently, though, he knows. He can see it all now, and he really
So who reached out first? How does the reconciliation happen?
um it kind of started when our daughter had to go to the partial program. That's where some of it started because I honestly have not even spoken to him. Like I used to avoid him. The kids are older. I don't have to talk to him to make arrangements or anything. So I completely avoided him for over a year.
Okay.
And when that happened, I had started talking to him, and then um,
He didn't get involved with any of the relationship except yours. He stayed committed to you, right? Kind of.
Yeah.
That also adds value.
The one that was not. And,
Okay.
He it had started a little bit before then because we had this stupid thing a few years ago trying to apply for mass health. It backfired, and they ended up putting child support that I pay child support every week. So I've been doing this for 3 years, and I told him, I said, you need to go down and get it taken care of because they're charging me, and I'm paying for the kids' insurance. I was like, this, and they live with me, and you're not even paying me. This is ridiculous. I said, I'd let it go, but now, like, you need to take care of it. So when he finally paperwork, we went to court. When they finally got the date, we went together and kind of started talking. That was like one of the first times that we really like talked. And then it just kind of went from there. Like,
is he your boyfriend or is he your husband?
He was my husband. We were legally married and we got legally divorced in 2011. So right now.
Now he's in a boyfriend status.
Yeah. And then the person that I'm living with apparently fell off he was last month. He told me what's going on because we're roommates and things are fine. And he was a little crazy at first, but we've always kind of been that way. And he told me he was going out of the country for work, which made no sense to me because he's like an IT person, but he's on like the lower level. So I'm like, why the hell would they send you to Germany? Like, okay, where are you staying? Oh, I don't remember that. Like he knew no information. He knew nothing. He went for a month. This was in May, just recently. Well, one of my friends is like that knows him. So where was he again? I was like, I don't know, probably in Cambodia getting married. I said he said he was going here, but even when he was there, never called anybody, like never sent picture. I'm like, whatever. Looking through Facebook, she sent me a picture, and I was like, I knew it. He got married in Cambodia to somebody that probably talked to for 2 months, and I was like, way to go. I said, you were with your kid's mother for 17 years and would not get married. You were with your older daughter's mother, like for like 8 years, did not get married. I said, You talked to this girl online for how long? He's like, I told you I'm crazy. I think something went wrong in my head. I'm like, but that was a planned crazy. I said, because you had to go and take the money, get the password, whatever. Good luck with all that.
You know, what a blessing.
I told him, I said, I hope it works. I said, but I think it's kind of amusing. I said, I said, what is wrong with you? You couldn't have just went over and visited and like met her, remembered her name for more than 5 minutes. Like, what is wrong with you? So, but I mean, it's marriage over there, but it's not necessarily legal here. But he did start the paperwork like to get her to come here. So I'm staying there with like no time frame, but in the back of my head, I know that eventually she's going to be there, and I really don't want to be there with her too. So I don't know. It's a little crazy. But I mean, my kids know everything that's going on. His daughter that's 13 knows basically what's going on. His son that's 10 does not. He's autistic. Like he doesn't get a lot of that. When the time comes, then we'll explain more to him. But for now, we're basically, roommates, and I still help him with his kids, and still does stuff for my kids for me. It's a good, I know
it's
that,
like that movie. It's complicated.
yeah, and I mean, I know if it was the other way around, I don't think that my ex-husband would have been as accommodating to allow me to stay there and still, like, I just...
He's a little bit more tolerant.
Yeah.
But the reason, see, every week I develop a theme for the recovery coaching. So this week, I mean, it's all like, how everything falls in place. Last night, actually, since I am a clairvoyant too, like, I kind of use my spirit to see where I need to focus and stuff. So one of the things last night that happened was something opened in me. It's like a portal, it's like a new dimension I'm walking through. And the main thing I'm working on is mental pain, because there is really no validation for mental pain. And that agonizes me personally more than anything else. And that's only because I have expectation of how the other person has to treat when I'm talking. That's like, it's like almost like I want them to catch up with how I think.
Right.
We're just like bizarre, like.
Yes.
But I wish that Bizarro maybe shifted last night. I don't know. I don't know, some neuroplastic surgeon, because this is my guardian. One of the things I'm learning, see, my teacher sends me messages exactly to suit that week. And then also the situation will happen. It almost looks like the whole world is playing. So I could focus my game for that week, right? So one of the things I learned was I took, I think I kind of said this garland fell and I started wearing it, right? So one of the things I learned from my teachers, followers, were that the reason Indian deities have multiple arms, multiple heads, is because he says when you get another responsibility, you get extra arm. Which kind of like Thailand, they play this dance. Have you seen that? They will all come together. They'll be in a straight line. I've seen in America Got Talent or where, and you could see the hands on the other. So it kind of makes sense. It's like not like it's necessarily I'm developing the other.
Right.
Do you get it?
Yes.
So I feel the heavier garland is because I have a heavier responsibility now. That's the way my mind wrapped it around. I'm sure people have a different way of interpreting it. And I see my weight, the weight I'm going to carry is going to be heavier, but I will have more support. That's the way I saw it.
Yes.
And that kind of made sense with the extra hand, I'm going to have extra hand from my higher self. And I also arrived at a place last week. All this search I was doing is not for another person. It's the highest being inside me. I was searching for the soulmate inside me. And when I found it, I didn't need another man or woman to confirm I was good. So the mental pain went away. The minute I realized all this time I was me, who were not wholesome. It's not about anybody else, which was really a nice place to reach. But then this weekend I was watching a movie with my husband called Pawn Sacrifice. It's about this guy who plays chess. He's the biggest American chess player, and he's totally crazy. He's so paranoid. Have you seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
I heard his name is Bob Fisher.
Mhm.
It's a real guy,
Oh, okay.
and he went to Iceland. He's like probably
Mhm.
schizo with paranoid disorder, or psychotic.
Right.
So he like always thinks Russians are after him, Jewish are
Oh,
after
okay.
him. He hears voices, and
Mhm.
but he's got this extrasensory perception that's so acute. It almost looks like he has the highest angelic perception of hearing,
Mhm.
but he's not grounded to work through those energies. So,
Mhm.
like in the audience, somebody scripts a chair, he'll freak out.
Mhm.
And that's the time Nixon was bugging.
Mhm.
So the Watergate scandal was going on. So you could see the recording of the video.
Mhm.
They were making the real whirling,
Mhm.
which set him off.
Right. Right.
So
They say that that's how autistic people like that they hear every little like,
yeah, sensitive.
everything. Yes.
So if in case he lived in this time,
Mhm.
he would have been disabled from young age, and he would have never even had his talent show up.
Right.
So the way I saw the movie was, I felt his brilliance came on only because somebody else willing to be the loser.
Mhm.
So I cried because when the Russian understood his talent,
Mhm.
he decided, he talks to the chair. He says, whoever is listening, because everybody knew something is being bugged. Okay.
Mhm.
And I think he said, whoever is listening, if in case he wants to even play in the toilet, I'm willing to pay with him.
Mhm.
And that's when the game shifts and he wins.
Mhm.
So somebody was willing to put up with this crap, right? Essentially, that's the same thing. I think Americans, our behaviors is so out of whack. Many of my Indian friends told me the outsourcing calls, right? When the what is called the telephone um, support
Mhm. Mhm.
that
The
is like
customer
being
service
handled
too.
by like Indians, Philippines, and
Yes.
Chinese, and whatever it is, they'll have a fake name.
Yes.
Here, John here, Bob here, and they'll have a thick Indian accent.
Yes.
So they said Americans are the rudest when they call. And that's because we believe money is everything. See, the
Mhm.
bottom line is we lost our culture. We have no
Mhm.
culture. And unfortunately, the only culture that works is 12 steps,
Mhm.
because at least it is giving us something we can say it's ours.
Right.
Whereas every other country has some sort of a system they fall back on. And Americans are totally like, it's like in the mud pot of weird conglomerate. And actually, Doug Casey says the same thing. He says every person from the other country who comes is opportunist. That includes me. I'm not saying, because the only reason I came here is I believed the lie that America is free. And once you get in, that's when you realize you're in a jail, American jail forever.
Yes.
And the jail is only feeding if you make money. And if you don't make money, you are destroyed.
Mhm.
So to survive, you need to make money. And I feel if I had to redo my life, I will never leave India.
Mhm.
But that is like, my opinion. I'm not, because this education is fake.
Mhm.
Everything is fake, made up. And they teach you things you don't need.
Mhm.
And they hike up the price.
Oh my God.
But
Yes.
the whole pawn sacrifice. So my husband, on the other hand, because he's true American, he believes, oh, look at this. He's brilliant, but he couldn't be grounded. So one thing I need to make sure is with you and stuff, not to be so genius you're out of whack that you are not taking care of the kids and stuff. So that's the way he saw it.
Mhm.
So last week, right, I went to a cannabis clinic in Maine
Mhm.
because I wanted to. Now that we are going to be recreational, I wanted to collaborate with people so I can send somebody to a safe place.
Mhm.
Even now access is a problem. This guy does homeopathic cannabinoids, and I was telling him how to extract certain THC and stuff homeopathically from other systems. So he says, let's patent it. He says, you give me your method, and I will teach you how to become a compound that will work together. So that's the reason I went there. And come to find out, Maine is the #1 state for telemedicine. I didn't know that.
Mhm.
And they are promoting everything as telehealth. So I immediately, called FCVS, Federal I was actually doing FCVS, Federal Credential Verification System for Rhode Island because my son goes to college there.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking, like, I'll get certified just in case, like, as a mother, I always
Yes.
want to follow my kids.
Mm-hmm.
But then when Maine said they are doing number one telemedicine, so I called FCVS immediately and I told them, can you send it to me?
Mm-hmm.
They said, okay, because I was almost in the process of finishing.
Right.
So my verification already went. And Maine was so fast. In
Right.
1 hour, I got a verification say, they got it. The only thing I need, so I called Maine boards and they said, oh, you just need to do an exam on Maine jurisprudence.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very easy to do. So next day morning, Thursday morning, I got up very early.
Mm-hmm.
I studied for 1 hour and I passed the exam and I already got a credential from them that I'm certified in Maine.
Wow.
So it's like super fast. Nowhere else they do it. Like
Right.
no other state does it.
Right.
Okay, so I already am credentialed. I have a license in Maine now.
Oh wow.
So I'm telling this to my colleagues, nobody says they're happy for me
Mm-hmm.
because nobody wants to be happy when you succeed.
Yes.
But whereas when you fail, everybody has pity for you.
Yeah.
It's almost like they don't want you to go further than them.
Mm-hmm.
So then, this happened last Wednesday, my off day. I went to so Thursday I got already Maine certification, okay? And then Friday I'm like saying I'm baffled, and I'm telling my husband. My husband was not pleased either.
Mm-hmm.
He's like totally like
Right.
annoyed with me because he hates campus.
I was gonna say he doesn't like
Yeah. It's like almost like you have your enemy living with you, you
Mhm.
know.
I know.
So then we were watching Pawn Sacrifice. That's when it hit me. What they are seeing is they're afraid I'm going to leave them.
Right.
See, it's not that I am succeeding. They want to play with me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a toddler.
Yes.
Even if I'm useless to them,
Mhm.
my husband does the same thing. Even if I don't eat what he cooks, he would
Mhm.
rather me share the dining table.
Mhm.
So he was saying, so he cooked beef and stuff this weekend. He says, are you going to not eat? I said, from now on, I'm going to eat your love. I said, I don't care what you're serving.
Mhm.
Because I feel I don't want to play alone anymore. It's boring, to play alone. After that movie only, I thought, otherwise I will be ending up in Iceland. I don't want to be so out of it.
I know.
But one thing I'm learning is to understand what they want out of me
Mhm.
and give it to them, but still keep my agenda. So that's where I am at this week. So
Mhm.
what I'm saying is like how you're saying this guy left, got married. I guarantee you it's not going to last.
Oh,
So
yeah.
the same thing.
I hear at least 5 new jokes a day about the whole situation.
I know. So I told my husband, I said, literally I told you I took off my ring and stuff. So I told my husband, now that you're my boyfriend, I said, I feel you're even cuter. No tension.
Right.
But that doesn't mean we are not in a committed relationship.
Right.
See, I am in a committed relationship, but the idea of marriage has changed.
It's only
And-
a piece of paper,
and-
honestly.
And I feel like, I am not having any other relationship apart from him.
Right.
But I feel the way I engage with him has shifted. And that's what opened. Last night I had a portal that opened.
Mhm.
And I literally in energy. Today, early morning it happened. I couldn't even move. My body was like kept in like almost like a energetic hub.
Mhm.
And I couldn't twist and turn. So I put my hand in energy into this being, which looked like my other half
Mhm.
on the belly area, like chi area.
Mhm.
And this being grabs it and engages and transfers my energy to that energy. And afterwards, I could see that looked like an alien type of a being. See, that's amazing. Like once confirmation comes, something will randomly
Mhm.
break.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's like I got it.
Yes.
Like, so they got it on the
Yes.
other side. It's like almost like they're listening it,
Yes.
I mean, it is paranoid, right? The way I talk, but I am
Right.
functional paranoid.
Right. As long as it, yeah.
But then what happened was, so I couldn't move at all, but the engagement was so sweet. It is like almost a transfer of energy.
Mhm.
But it is not sexual. It's like
Mhm.
almost like how plant does asexual transfer. That's
Right.
what it looks like. And the being on the other side looks so grotesque. So
Mhm.
like I would be afraid if I was in a different space.
Right.
But because I was held in the energy hub, it was not it felt very sweet, the exchange of energy. And for my sake, like, the being has like one half that looks like a human kind of contour, and I looked young, the other kid looked young, but in the back you could see like a gobbly, like, like a hole and stuff. So I couldn't understand the whole dynamics. Eventually the words will come, I'm sure. But so the exchange of energy happened from me to the other side. And then, like, what is it is they are trying to understand where I'm coming from, because I'm not following any rule. I am eating beef, which is the taboo.
Right.
But they are trying to figure out, like, how to incorporate my lifestyle. That's the way I got it. But then afterwards, I literally felt my bed felt like somebody stood up and left. And this is like something like, I cannot even explain. So then my husband, like, it was like around 5:50 or so. So in 10 minutes, I could hear my husband in the kitchen, because I was thinking, is it my husband? I could see it was not him.
Right.
So I was aware, but I couldn't open my eyes. So then my husband comes in, and I said, "Hey, Keith, were you like coming in to check on me?" He says, "Maybe," because he didn't want to deny it.
Yes.
Because I really wanted to ask him whether he came 10 minutes early,
Yes,
but I
that
didn't
was
want to
him.
give.
Yes.
So I don't think he came.
Right.
But I didn't want to spook him out either, because
Right.
sometimes, like, you could say weird things, and
I know.
I don't want him to section me.
Yes, I know.
But then I felt some shift. It's almost like a channeling portal opened in me, but I didn't know how to take it. I don't know what is the outcome. But I think all of us are going through a shift, right? Like, your life is shifting.
Yes.
So it almost looks like universe is creating a portal for us to go through the time that is going to be easy. Like, all our trials are like, yeah, like, it looks like all the trials that we have faced is being set aside so we can get a fresh start. That's the way I'm looking at it. But maybe, like, see, only time will tell. Next week I'll tell you whether what I want. But I'm so proud of you. Thanks for listening. And thanks for sharing too.
Have a good week.
You too.
Enjoy the weather. It's supposed to be beautiful.
I'm posting this on healnow.tv. What do you want me to call it? This session. If I'm going to give it a name. What is the challenge we both faced, and what is it the common themes? It'll be recovery coaching dash something. So what would it be? No, but like, it's like, what is it that you're working on, which is kind of like connected with what I was saying?
I think, honestly, for me, it's that I like kind of stepped out of myself to look at everything and figure out what changed for me.
Is it a new trail, or
Yeah, it could be.
like you're in
It's
a
more
trail
like
and
a section of one, yes.
what is it? Section?
Like a section of a new trail. It would be, yeah, a new trail would be.
Like something to do with hiking?
Yeah.
Something to do with, what do they call it? Audubon? Like, it's a trail?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll try to figure it out.
I know,
You cannot think of it. Huh?
I do that.
Okay.
Have a good
Yeah.